Yo, what's going on, guys? This is Jonathan. Today I'm bringing you a video talking about how to buy a car while you are in the military. Specifically, I'm going to be talking a little bit about stateside. It's pretty easy stateside, so majority of this is going to be about buying a car overseas. So the first thing you want to do when you're buying a car is definitely have some money. That is what you need to buy a car. Now, it really comes down to whether you're going to finance it and this or that or whatever the case may be, but you should have some sort of money set aside, some sort of savings, knowing that you are going to get a car, just so that you can actually make a down payment, or you can go all out and buy the car in cash. Some people have $20,000 saved up. I don't know how they do that, but some people have that much money saved up, and so they can go buy a car in cash. Not everybody has that money, so for the rest of us, sometimes it's good to just pocket a little bit and save it, so then when it does come time for us to buy a car, like for me, for example, when I got out of tech school, I needed to buy a car, and I think I had like $5,000 or something like that to put down on my car, and so that's what I did. The next thing I would say is definitely know what kind of car you want. Do your research, at least have an idea of like, okay, I want an SUV, or I want a car, or no matter what it is, just have an idea of what you want, why you want it, talk to people, just get all of the information. I mean, I can't sit here and tell you like, oh, get a Subaru. That's biased because I have a Subaru. Some people like Mitsubishi, even though that's not the right way to live. But there's just so many different types of cars, and you just really have to do the research and know what you are shopping for. You can't just go in blind and come out with something, because you might just come out with something that you might not like. It's not gonna last you a long time. It's not gonna be a good investment, even though getting a car isn't really an investment. So just kind of pay attention to that and definitely do your research. So the next thing is definitely have a good source of where you're going to get your car. Now, the great thing about being in the military and having squadrons here and there and whatever it may be is that there are people there who have been there for probably 20 years for some reason, and there's people who just got there. So there's a very wide spectrum of people who have most likely 100% bought a car there. So talk to those people. If you're shy, break out of your shell. Just get all the information that you can, and you'll have a good idea of where the good places are, where the bad places are. Also, it's 2019. We obviously have Google, and we can look at reviews of car dealerships and all sorts of information and stuff like that. So this video is very specific, probably to like people who are financing a car or buying a car at a dealership. For people who are going to be shopping on Craigslist and whatever the case may be, I'm just going to run through it really quick, but definitely go with somebody so you're not getting ripped off, and at the most extreme, you're not going to get murdered or something like that. Try to go with somebody who is familiar with cars and almost is a mechanic, and if you can, go with a mechanic. Because they're definitely going to be able to look over the car, you know, on Craigslist and see if it is going to be a good option for you. You can't be super picky with Craigslist. The best thing you can probably do with Craigslist is be very patient and wait for something to get put up on like a weekend or something like that, so you know, oh, okay, like I have an idea of what car I'm looking for, and then you kind of just keep looking out for something like that to pop up at a decent price, and then you go hit up the person, and then you go through with all that sort of stuff. So it's very easy to buy a car on Craigslist. If you have the money, you know what you're looking for. The hardest part, in my history, I guess, is definitely being patient and waiting for the right car to pop up. Because as soon as one got up there, when I was in high school and I had money to buy one, I was like, I want this car, and then I would go with my brother, and like it would be garbage. So definitely, just if you're gonna buy a car on Craigslist, be patient and go with somebody. Maybe it's you, maybe you know what you're talking about, but you still should go with somebody. And if you don't know what you're talking about, like someone like me who knows nothing about cars except that I like some of them, go with a mechanic if you can. But definitely, if you are buying from a dealership, find a good source, a good dealership to get one from, because you don't want to get ripped off. So this next part, I'm gonna be reading from my phone. When I was doing research for this video, there was stuff in here about taxes. I am not very familiar with that sort of thing, so I'm just gonna read this snippet and you can take it for what it is. But it says, taxes on your car's purchase will be due when it's registered in the States. If you register your car before shipping, you will likely have to pay taxes before it arrives in the States. If you've been driving the car overseas for a period of time, the tax on the depreciated vehicle generally will be less than the tax on a new vehicle. Regulations vary by state, so check with your state's Department of Motor Vehicles. So I'm pretty sure you're gonna have to pay taxes like regardless, but a lot of people, when they deploy and when they go overseas and stuff like that, they buy a car and then they sell it before they come back to the States or before they leave for their deployment. So then once they get to the States, they'll have money from the sold car, and then they can put that towards another car when they get back to the States. I don't know if that is to do with this and to get around this or anything like that, but I read it and you can take it for what it is. So you can ship your car overseas to stateside. You can also ship your car stateside to stateside, but for the people who are overseas and just want to ship a car in general, all you have to do is go talk to the travel office and get that information. I don't know the information. There's paperwork you have to fill out, and then the government will go hire a shipping company for basically what they would do it price-wise, and there's this whole type of thing mixed in there. But when the time comes for you to PCS or get out of the Air Force and you're going home or whatever the case may be, go talk to those people. They're there to help you. That's what their job is, and you will get all the information then. Another thing is to definitely remember insurance. Now, some people buy super expensive cars because they have the money to do that, and then later in the lifetime of the car, they can't pay the insurance because the insurance is really expensive for that super expensive car. So definitely, get on the Geico app or whatever, Progressive or whatever the case may be for overseas. I'm not really sure, but just get a quote from like 28 different places if you want to, and just find the best insurance that's gonna be within the law, because sometimes you have to have full coverage or whatever the case may be, especially if you're financing a car. But definitely don't forget to calculate insurance because it can bite you in the butt. So last thing I want to talk about is financing options. Different banks are going to be giving you different interest rates depending on however they calculate that. When I first got my car, I had a 14% interest rate, and then I refinanced to 9%, and I could probably refinance again now and get it even lower, but I didn't have a credit history when I started shopping for a car, and it bit me in the butt, and I ended up paying a lot more than I could have been. So this kind of goes with the beginning of the video. When you are preparing, when you're budgeting and stuff like that, definitely try to have an established credit history because it will help you out a ton later, and it will save you a lot of money. But get all of the quotes from different banks and stuff like that just so that you can know what is up. Thank you so much for watching. Really hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications bell so you can be notified when I do upload a video. Don't forget to leave your ship dates down below along with any questions that you may have about my entire life. If you haven't already, also follow me on Twitch. It is also linked down below. Sometimes I stream on there with my friends. Sometimes I stream on there when I'm drawing and doing some creative stuff because I am a graphic designer and an artist. I've talked about this before. Again, thank you so much for watching. Really hope you enjoyed this video, and peace out.